With no Republican competitors left in the race, US presidential candidate Donald Trump is taking a break from the campaign trail today. But he still has a lot on his plate as he gets ready for a high-stakes meeting later this week. Trump is in a very public battle with Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan, who's so far refusing to support him. As Phil Mattingly reports, party unity will be on the line when they finally come face to face.
I'm going to do what I have to do. I have millions of people that voted for me.
Donald Trump upping the ante in his battle with the GOP, escalating tensions with House Speaker Paul Ryan.
I will give you a very solid answer if that happens about 1 minute after that happens, okay?
Trump suggesting that if the nation's highest-ranking Republican doesn't endorse him, the presumptive nominee may try to remove Ryan as chairman of the Republican National Convention.
I'd like to have his support, but if he doesn't want to support me, that's fine, and we have to go about it.
Former vice presidential nominee and top Trump supporter Sarah Palin going further, pledging to help defeat Ryan in the race for his Wisconsin seat.
I think Paul Ryan is soon to be cantored as an Eric Cantor. His political career is over, but for a miracle, because he has so disrespected the will of the people.
Trump hinting he won't just go rogue with Ryan, but with the entire party.
Does the party have to be together? Does it have to be unified? I'm very different than everybody else, perhaps, that's ever run for office. I actually don't think so.
Trump's fiery words setting the stage for a face-to-face meeting with Ryan on Thursday, as the GOP rift widens between those who support him.
I would be willing to serve in any capacity that I could be of help with Donald on.
And those who don't.
Jeb Bush is not an honorable person. Lindsey Graham is not an honorable person.
Some drawing a hard line, vowing to skip the convention or not vote.
You have to listen to people that have chosen the nominee. I think it would be foolish to ignore them.
Senator John McCain, who once called Trump's statements uninformed and indeed dangerous, says he'll now support him with conditions.
I think it's important for Donald Trump to express his appreciation for veterans.
Others pressing feverishly for a third-party option, including one group, Conservatives Against Trump. Their concern? That Trump isn't conservative enough to carry the party torch.
This is called the Republican Party. It's not called the Conservative Party.
This as Trump continues to change his tune on tax hikes for wealthy Americans.
I come up with the biggest tax cut by far of any candidate, anybody, and I put it in. When it comes time to negotiate, I feel less concerned with the rich than I do with the middle class.
And on minimum wage.
I like the idea of let the states decide, but I think people should get more.
Trump speaking out again today about Hillary Clinton, his rift with the Republican Party and much more. Phil Mattingly is covering all of that and joins us now live. Phil, a lot riding on this meeting between Paul Ryan and Donald Trump. Given the threats that he's already made against Ryan, it doesn't sound like Trump will go out of his way to win over his support.
No, not at all. And I think this is the interesting element of this, Lynda, that maybe we weren't all expecting. We assumed when Paul Ryan came out last week and threw a little bit of a brushback towards Donald Trump, that Trump would take it, look at it, and kind of come to the center, or come meet Paul Ryan in the middle. At least that's what Paul Ryan's aides wanted. But instead, Donald Trump has taken another perspective on things, and it all really starts with this. Take a listen to what he said this morning on CNN's New Day.
We have a group of people that's great. This group of people has given me, and it's them, it's a group, I'm like a messenger, but they've given me a number that no other president, not Ronald Reagan, nobody has ever gotten, okay?
Now, what he's referring to there is the number of Republican votes he's gotten in this primary, more than any other candidate in the history of the Republican Party. And how Donald Trump reads that very clearly is as a mandate. And after he was not informed that Paul Ryan was going to do this, their staffs did not talk beforehand, Donald Trump has, instead of taking the position where I need to come to the center, I need to make amends with the Republican leadership, has gone the exact opposite way. And what that really does is not only does it set huge stakes for this meeting on Thursday, but it also raises the question, is it possible to bridge the divide right now that exists between Donald Trump and Republican leadership, between Donald Trump and Paul Ryan? A lot of people think the answer, Lynda, is no.
Right. And there is, of course, a lot of concern also about whether Trump really represents the Republican conservative. He's already backing down on his promise to reduce taxes for all Americans.
Yeah, that's right. In his tax proposal, which had the largest tax cut of any Republican candidate, that was actually put out during the primary, he seems to be walking away from that. Now, he's putting it this way, that this is all part of a negotiation. His initial proposal would be that tax plan, and then they'd work from there. But Republicans are looking at this right now, those Republicans who have long been skeptical of where Donald Trump stands ideologically, and saying this is exactly what we are concerned about. And it also underscores, not to bring everything back to Paul Ryan, but really kind of you talk about the politics here, or you talk about the tone. These are two areas where Paul Ryan has serious concerns related to Donald Trump. But Lynda, if you want to talk about the major concerns Paul Ryan has, it's on policy, whether it's on taxes, whether it's on entitlement reform, whether it's on immigration policy, or even trade. All of these areas are areas where Paul Ryan and Donald Trump are on opposite sides of the spectrum. So you talk about getting into a room in a one-on-one meeting and being able to figure out some way to agree to earn that Paul Ryan endorsement. When you look at the policy side of things, all you have to do is question how and if it's even going to happen at all, Lynda.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And of course, Trump is also going after Hillary Clinton. He's continuing to ramp up his attacks on former President Bill Clinton and his infidelity. How does that line of attack play out with voters?
It's a really open question. I think this is a really interesting thing. As you watch the Trump campaign go after this, and they've made very clear, they telegraphed that this was going to be a line of attack that they were going to use. How voters respond is really unknown. Now take a listen to what Donald Trump had to say this weekend.
She is playing the woman's card to the hilt. She is going, I mean, I watched over the weekend, and everything is about women, and Donald Trump raised his voice, and, you know, it's all nonsense. And you know what? Women understand it better than anybody. And watch how well I do with women when it counts, when the election comes. Watch how well. Because women want to see strong security. They want to see strong military. They want to see borders where people just can't come walking across a border like it's Swiss cheese.
Now that actually from this morning, Donald Trump attacked Hillary Clinton repeatedly on the campaign trail this weekend. And it's an interesting thing here, Lynda, because you look, in terms of the general electorate, Donald Trump's unfavorability amongst women is at about 70% right now. And Hillary Clinton's team believes they can take full advantage of this. But Donald Trump not wavering on the fact that this is a line of attack, attacking Hillary Clinton on her role in, quote, enabling Bill Clinton during his infidelities, is something they're going to continue. And their rationale is this, at least according to his advisors. There is a segment of the electorate that does not remember the 1990s, was not paying attention in the 1990s, maybe was hardly born in the 1990s, that they believe they can persuade that this is a narrative that works, that Hillary Clinton was attacking women. Hillary Clinton was anti-women. Obviously, Lynda, the Clinton campaign pushes back very hard on this. Most of them believe that it's a completely ridiculous narrative, but it's one that the Trump campaign is willing to try out here. Nobody really knows how it's going to end up. But it's one that they're going to go after, and it's going to raise a lot of controversy, no question about it.
Absolutely, and we'll see if it does backfire for the Trump camp. Yeah. Phil Mattingly, thank you very much. Well, Hillary Clinton can't focus all her energy on countering Donald Trump because she's still in a primary battle with Bernie Sanders. Her Democratic rival addressed a cheering crowd in New Jersey today. He's hoping to keep his momentum alive with a win in West Virginia's primary on Tuesday. But that still would leave him behind in the delegate race. Clinton says Sanders can play a great role in shaping progressive goals for the Democratic Party.